This is a Thor Annual from 2009. It wasn't in that omnibus, but it was concurrent with those comics. I got this a year ago, maybe two, because it is the landmark return of artist Tom Grindberg. Tom Grindberg is a 90s artist I have railed on a lot in videos. I mean, I have insulted and criticised him a lot. I have not performed aggressive buggery on him. We can organise something if he's up for it, though. I think it would be funny for me to have bummed Tom Grindberg, especially on account of the fetish for male buttocks that his art often displays. Unbelievably, they have done Tom Grindberg the least helpful favour ever. They have gotten a really good artist to draw about 7 pages of this issue. Mico Suayan does this first scene, and he is really good. And this opening bit got me hopes up because we have the return of the worst named Thor villain, Seth. And we hadn't seen Seth much since the mid-90s. And we also get the return of some of his minions, minor characters from continuity. So I was gaslit into thinking that this was going to be a fun annual. So here is our Tom Grindberg art. And there's still all that janky, uncoordinated anatomy. But he does have an inker here. And I am not going to be mean and say that the inker does a lot to fix his art. I will be fair and maybe say Tom Grindberg just got a bit better. But the art is still dreadful. It's bad. Didn't get us wrong. Even with some passable panels, it still isn't good. A page like this, I think you can get by with this art. There is still some Tom Grindberg stuff there, like Thor having a huge arse, or the use of shadows down here. But the main problem for me is here, we have Donny Wallblake and Thor, and they are talking to each other. They are communicating like this. And I don't think this was ever the setup for Thor. Maybe they were trying something new out here that never caught on. But that was the first thing that took me out of the story. And then there's a page like this with the first panel by Mico Suayan. And then 3 panels by Tom Grindberg. And it just feels mean. Our bad guy for this one, it is Grog the Godslayer from 390 or 391. The issue where Captain America, Steve Rogers, when he was the captain, it is the issue where he lifts Thor's magic hammer. And if you're wanting to see a more Tom Grindberg style take on Grog, down here in the centre we have the classic Tom Grindberg mess of a body and perspective. Now, with Tom Grindberger's 90s art, a lot of people do argue that it is a style. It is meant to be a style that never worked. But they say it's meant to be like Michael Elboy or Simon Waltonson. But I always saw it a different way. I saw it in the same light as Bill Son of a Bitch. Both of those artists began doing or attempting to do regular house style art and quickly came to realise they were just one of many and they were not quite good enough to be anything more than a Moon Man artist or a Fire Lord artist. So they adopted a style and a look to cover for their inferiority and pretend to be an alternative artist. Bill Son of a Bitch a lot more than Tom Grindberger. I think Tom Grindberger, he just saw a means to try and disguise his shoddy art or excuse his awful anatomy or his problems with scale. Most people saw Tom Grindberger as god-awful, and I do believe he was the worst comic book artist of the 90s. It just never worked. His art was ugly and pitiful. And up here is another good example of what Tom Grindberger art is usually like. A garbled mess resembling a body with a cape that defies logic to allow him to draw a great big arse on Thor. The cape in particular, throughout his art in this, its size and positioning and how it parts is massively inconsistent. We have an interesting page. This one here. I do not believe Tom Grindberger drew this. This looks like another artist. Other than Donnie Wahlblake's legs down here, which are totally parallel, the rest doesn't scream Tom Grindberger. The credits for this annual list Mico Suayan for the non-Earth scenes, and Tom Grindberger and someone else for the Earth scenes. And I assumed it was an inker because there are no inkers listed. Or maybe it was Tom Grindberger doing layouts and that other guy finishing them. And it is just this one page where it really... I cannot see this being Tom Grindberger. The rest of the art, like the stuff I have not focused on because it isn't very funny, you can see that it is Tom Grindberger and that he has gotten a bit better, or his art has finally been handled more appropriately. Like this woman up here, you can tell that it's Tom Grindberger because her shoulders are so low, she must have the neck of a giraffe. This page is not Tom Grindberger. If it is, I'll tell you what, I will let Tom Grindberger bugger me. If this is Tom Grindberger, he can do me up the butt after I have done him up the butt. I think he would love that. He loves men's arses. The letdown here isn't Tom Grindberger's art not being hilarious, the story is a letdown. It focuses way too much on Donnie Wahlblake. And like many Thor fans, I hate Donnie Wahlblake as a concept. And this dynamic with him and Thor conversing, it doesn't really work or feel like a Thor thing. Maybe I was also too preoccupied with the art and analysing the art and trying to work out what was going on with the art. But it's a bad story. Seth doesn't even do anything. It just doesn't lead anywhere. Before I finish, I want to find the page where Thor, it is up here, Thor throwing his hammer. That is a nice Tom Grindberger abomination to end on. No, wait, that's not it. Hold on. There must be another bit. There must be another one where... There it is. That's it there. That's what I thought it was. And it's meant to be that he is twisting his right arm and his right hand. But it looks like he has two left hands. This is the image to end on. I don't recommend this annual to anyone but people intrigued to see what Tom Grindberger artwork looks like in 2009. Maybe he did get better. Maybe he got a shit art inker to fix most his art. But it still looks bad and you get panels like this. The art isn't the only disappointing thing, and the story is disappointing too. That is why I give it 7 thumbs up.